Mrs Cox by Euan Rose. Emily Cox in conversation with her late husband Lenny during the coronavirus lockdown.
Part 14. Vera Lynn and a drop of tonic.
Oh, Lenny, 102 years old today. Caught me breath, really. Joe, no, mate, I've never really had a day's illness in me life. Except for the odd cold, of course. Then granted, I did have the flu and all back in the 50s. Think that was the Spanish version. They have it bad, though. Grandad of the pop it was, I reckon. Speaking of which, us special needs folk, as Valeria refers to us, those that get weekly government food parcels and have been on the super vulnerable list because of their age and ailments, can now come out of hibernation. Like badger in wind in the willows you'll be, Emily, her says, emerging forth to promenade on Bromsgrove High Street, arm in arm with me, singing, "We'll meet again." That's another thing, Lenny. Not a sad thing, because she went off in style, surrounded by her closest family and chums. But the Force's sweetheart, as we called her, that Vera Lynn, died. 103 she was. Older than me by a year and a week. I've said it afore, and I'm saying it again. I'm ready when the call comes. I've been for a long time. Grateful for what I've had and hopefully for what might be to come. Like being in your arms again, Lenny, where I belongs. But for now, it's time to put on my birthday gal face and down a few Vera Lynns in the garden with Val, Flo and that nice young man from the Standard as I invited when he rung.
Oh, cheers, ladies.
Cheers to you, Mr. Harris.
Yes, cheers, my dears, and happy birthday, Emily.
Yes, happy birthday, Emily.
Yes, happy birthday, Mrs Cox.
You're very respectful, Mr. Harris. I like that in a young man.
Thank you, Mrs Onions.
Oh, nines, Mr. Harris, or I'll be taking back what I said.
Sorry, it's just that Mrs Cox said onions in my notes.
Silly me.
What's your position on lifeboats, Mr. Harris?
I'm sure he'll be there first, along with the women and children.
Oh, Titanic.
Anyone bringing the petit flour?
Oh, really, ladies? I think the gin's going to your heads. A little decorum, if you would, please. I would like to ask what the Standard's position is on one of my favourite charities, the National Lifeboat Institution.
Don't get much call for lifeboats down the cut.
Nor on the Bourneville boating lake.
Oh, that's really rather silly.
Oh, stop your agging, Flo. Tristan knows I'm only jesting with him. Don't you, Bab?
Yes, just having what you might call a come-by-our moment.
Oh, yes. No. Don't really understand your witticism there, Val.
More sarcasm than witticism.
All us girls on the lifeboat singing together, Emily. Come by all, my lord, come by all, oh Lord, come by all.
It's actually an African-American spiritual of disputed origin.
Of course it is, Flo. Who to you, come by all.
Young both acting like I'm a few slices short of a loaf. Too much Vera Lynn, I reckon.
Actually, a friend of mine was saved from drowning by an RNLI lifeboat crew down in Anglesey last year.
You see?
Well, there you go, Flo. How about another slice of lemon drizzle, Tristan?
I won't say no to that. Thank you. But first, there's something I'd like to ask all three of you. The usual one for you, Mrs Cox.
What's that, Bab?
An early memory. The readers love those.
Well, funny you should ask that, because I was only thinking last night that even with the popper rampaging, you've still got a better chance of surviving today than you had when I was a nipper back in the 1920s.
Before my time.
And mine.
I always associate the 1920s with an age of glamour.
Beaded dresses and mad dances like the Charleston.
Oh, 'twas, if you was born with a silver spoon in your gob, but not those on us raised in a back-to-back with just suffin miskins to play in. I was the only one of 8 to survive.
7 siblings. And did they all die of the flu?
6 brothers and 1 sister. But now they died of an amalgamation. 2 of them were the Spanish flu, definitely. The others died of mysterious things, or before they reached their 2nd birthday, just like it was some sort of curse. The memory you're asking me for, Tristan, tain't a happy one. It's of me being sent outside to play kick the can in the alley with Elmer Brown from next door whilst the vicar was in the house performing the last rites.
How simply dreadful.
Oh, frightful.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But it's what you get used to. I never blarted after the first time. Turned it into a game in me head. So don't suppose you want to write about that, Tristan?
I will, because it's your memory, Mrs Cox. It may also make our readers think that as bad as it is now, it's been even worse in the past.
I collect for several hospices, you know, Emily.
Sometimes, Flo, you have all the tact of a nutter.
On a more cheerful note, here's one for you all, if I may.
You may. Let's get back to celebrating before I slip my wrists.
That's all right by me.
Depends on what you're asking.
Oh, I do hope it's inappropriate. I'm in need of an injection of filth.
Valeria O'Nions, really?
It's just what more you'd like to see Bromsgrove offering to your age group, in the way of amenities and societies as we come out of lockdown.
Line dancing. I'm serious. I'd love to have a go at that.
I'd like to do folk dancing again. There used to be a folk dancing club at Avencroft. I was a member for many years.
Well, I'd like to do both. Me and my wife Louise have talked about doing ballroom dancing, but we keep that strictly between us.
Very witty, Mr. Harris. Now, put your plate on the table and I'll cut you another slice of lemon drizzle.
A socially distanced slice.
Of course. Though, sadly, the line folk and ballroom dancing is going to have to wait, girls, till we gets the nod from number 10.
I'll bet they're already dancing all night in number 10, Emily.
Yes, one roll for them.
Ooh, revolutionary talk from you, Flo. Whatever next?
We'll be getting you a J. Guevara berry for your birthday. Weren't that funny?
What's tickled your funny bone, Mrs Annoyance?
Oh, the thought of Emily in a cowboy hat. Blazing saddles.
Oh, Lenny, it was a right laugh. I had me maudlin moment. Tell you what brought that back to me was seeing them poor refugees on the newers. Lost everything. Parents, kids, homes, and yet some on 'em still manage a smile. Any rowet, after I'd said me piece, we was a chobbling cake and downing gin and tonics for a good hour and a half till the weather turned, and that editor Tristan chap acted like he was really enjoying our company. Joined in the merriment and took the ribbon like champion the Wonder Hoss. Vera Lynn made 103. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Any road up, we'll see. As long as I could have days like today, and I aye a burden to no one, that is. Night, Lenny. Love you, mate. Till we meet again, sweetheart.
The Remarkable Mrs Cox radio show was a Euan Rose Reviews production, starring Pat Dixon-Dale as Emily Cox, Valeria O'Nions was played by Johanna Dobley, Flo Wilson by Ava Faye, Tristan Harris was played by himself, original music by Adrian Kimblin, and the programme was produced by Phil Brown.